unit broad waking. The heart sees in his left an apricot tree in the window, the smell of crushed leaves from the riverbank. It takes so many words to say the sound of water, a faltering, gated whisper, the flush of a skirt in the hallway. Always there will be a dream, always a waking. Someone will come to stand in the doorway, or darkness will come to stand in the doorway. Think of everything in terms of absence. No snow is falling, nothing held in the high branches of the tree. And then I thought I would read, there's a bunch of poems in this book that take their titles. What is that? Sorry, it's my beautiful. Beautiful. That take their title from drug names. And so the first one that I'm going to read is called lorazepam. It's a panic drug, used for panic attacks and certain other conditions. Lorazepam. Quick, sweet, restless, the afternoon sex that allows sleep until dinner, dinner dressed and candled, an unlit hall walk to the table, to the spiced and substantial, the inhale of tamarind and fennel seed, a heaviness set in the spine cellar, the stomach's moony table kissed by many mouths, mouthed by many hands, stopping, stopping, the sleeping's stony anaphora. And then vecuronium bromide, which is a paralytic. So it puts your body to sleep without putting your mind to sleep at all. So you need Versed or fentanyl or another one of the drugs to put your mind under. Otherwise, it's just your body, and it's like that horror, that horror feeling. Horror stories where the body's asleep, but you still can feel what that is. Vecuronium bromide. Locked in, the lights turned out. At the end of the long room, a small bed. Hail breaks the gable window, a shock. The foghorn loud sounds, a loud mouth in the nursery. A true doll in her smock dress pleases everyone. The curtains full of water. Water fills a mixing bowl. Beneath the gable, a bed. Everyone pleases with her mouth, with her true hips. The full, wet curtain with her horn sound, a sing-song. In the gable, a small bed, a glass breaking at the end of the room. The light's long song turns out her toes. The bar is the wet windowsill, the footboard of the bed. She makes a longhouse of her chest. She makes a foghorn of her mouth. She plies, she practices. From her hips, a nursery song, a mouth, a lock turn, a breaking glass. She plies, she practices. The shock, it's true, pleases everyone. And a lot of poems in this manuscript take place in a hospital in Massachusetts, in Boston, actually, where Seth and I are both from. The Patriots won tonight, and thank you all so much for coming out. I know there is nothing much that I would rather do besides be in my pajamas watching sports, and I know that that's probably not something you admit, but I'm from Boston and I love sports, so thank you all for coming out. Cradle. After the white cloud evidence has been removed from your lungs, you bleed in the Gaza's spread sail. All along the highway, lid lines of turtles, new hatched in the drainage ditch, blink in shelled moonlight. The cars dreadlock into the suburbs, their taillights steadily outmoving the evenings entering in. The glandular stink of eucalyptus, the work odor of one who has fought all night for breath. Beside your bed, I read by the stars your hand has penned in the page's corners. To think of the end now is like being nettled to the calves, each sting a steel sigh. Any heave from you settles my heart. The story is one of the unlikely horse, road snow white, two-headed, bound. It is not for you when I lift breathing tube and lead wire to lie beside you. It is not for you when I hold my mouth to the cold barrel of your shoulder. Waiting room. There were women with wet eyes, women sunning in the smell and scorch. There were benches on which no one sat, though there were people to sit beside. Around us, the city burned. In grief, in love, it burned to its knees, leaving its glass patella, its fibula, its steely heart. There was a deep voice, which was the door. There was wind arriving, passing through. We stood in a forest of high-waisted trees, of starlings. This is another unit poem with the phrase, "Little stars were the herring fish" as the title, which you may recognize from Wink and Blink and Nod. Then they waited in places that resembled sleep. An airshaft window slightly open, an uprise of yellow air, a dog's closeted barking.
I like barking.
Yeah, I like that too.
It has a certain percussiveness.
Barking. They were folded into ordinary flowers, held in someone's palm a long time, and later pressed until their colors bled into the pages of a dictionary. They were folded into small, captainless boats and paper fortune tellers worked by the fingers, blue 4, green 5, of a girl, open-mouthing love. Then they loved again. But without the sturdy, steam engine conviction of first love, one refused to rise from bed. Another sipped half-heartedly at the vein of air shuttled into the room, lake blue across the mouth, fingers white as threads of milk, across the window's blue lake. Then, artificial, worked-for sleep set a hand over the eyes, and the eyes of sleep were the milky eyes of a mother leaving. Then, one shuffled cards, television stations, coins from hand to hand. One sat in the closed kitchen, recipe cards dealt on the floor, handwritten by lovers and ex-lovers, mothers and their mothers, for never-baked breads. Egg-white tiles, true white walls, a cold oven.